What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. First things first, I want to say please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Today I'm joined by my main man, my guy Jason. Thanks for being here, bro.
Appreciate it, bro. Thanks for having me.
No problem. All right, so all throughout February, I'm gonna do topics strictly on Black History Month, and today we got to talk about Colin Kaepernick. Now, he's not exactly Black history, but I believe that in about 10-15 years, we will look back on his Anthem protest, and we'll kind of put him in the same class as a Muhammad Ali or a Jackie Robinson. So I just want to pay homage to what he's done and just talk about his whole scenario. All right, so first question I got for you, man. Do you agree with Kaep and his protest?
I absolutely agree with Kaep and his protest, and I fully support it. I don't fully agree with how he went about it, and how he went about things and did certain things, but I fully support what it stood for. Obviously, police brutality, institutionalized racism, certain things like that. So of course, being a black person, those are two things that you definitely identify with. So I definitely support him to the fullest. How he went by it and how he kind of did things, not all the way, but.
So what about it didn't you like?
I feel like I didn't really understand the vision, the end towards.
What his goal was.
What his goal was. Certain things like he wore pig socks at practice one day. He wore a Fidel Castro shirt. I feel like certain stuff like that wasn't really needed.
That's fair. Okay.
And one of the things I felt like he did it on the national level. In my opinion, if you wanna make change with the police, with law enforcement, you gotta start by the community. You gotta start by states. The federal government has no power on how to directly change police forces
and how they do things.
So you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start by state. You could have started from the team he played on at that time, and built up from there. He could have still did his protest on the national stage, but you gotta start small and build up if you want to see change as far as the police brutality part. Yeah,
I get what you're saying as far as maybe not the way he did it. Of course, I absolutely also agree with his protests and everything that it stood for. Yeah. But that's interesting, to think about what his end game was, because when you just see the pig socks and then the Fidel Castro shirt, you're trying to understand what it is he's doing. But I do agree, you got to start small, start local, maybe start in the community. Maybe go to a police station in San Francisco, or somewhere in the area where they maybe had one of these situations where a cop killed an unarmed Black person.
Exactly.
So I understand that. Yeah. So do you think he is or was being blackballed by the NFL?
Of course he was blackballed by NFL. But I don't believe it was all 32 owners getting together saying, texting each other like, oh, we're not.
They had a Colin group chat.
Yeah, we're not letting this guy in because of what he's doing. Right. And some people might not know this. He actually did. I don't know if he's suing, but he does have something against.
He's got a
NFL
lawsuit.
Towards the 32 NFL owners. So I don't know where that is at right now, but I definitely believe he was blackballed. But I think from this standpoint, I believe every individual owner, made a decision like, hey, we don't want this guy here because he could be possibly a distraction. You have 32 rich, powerful. Forget that most of them are white men, but you have rich,
bunch of billionaires.
Yeah, bunch of billionaires, businessmen that are running a company, which is an NFL team. So I think
they don't want to take the chance with that.
Exactly, they don't want to take. What do businessmen care about the most before anything?
Their bottom line.
Their bottom line, their money, that dollar. So I think they made a decision. Hey, we hear what you're saying. We hear what you're standing for, but we don't care enough to compromise what our money, to compromise what we do. And at that time, I think the protest took onto another level once Donald Trump
especially
out,
with his comments.
With his comments.
Get that son of a bitch off the field.
Yeah, exactly. And the NFL owners don't have a boss. Their boss, if anything, is Donald Trump, because he can affect their money in a certain way through taxes or whatever. So when he came out, and then so in my opinion, short term, it could possibly affected their money. Long term, I don't think it would have affected their money at all. People are still gonna watch the NFL.
Yeah.
People are still gonna buy tickets. They'll get over it eventually. But yeah, that was the thing. They didn't care enough to affect their money, and that's American capitalism for you.
Yeah, they didn't care enough to take the chance of it affecting their bottom line.
Yeah.
I agree with that, absolutely. So how do you feel about the NFL and the rule that they made about players having to be on the field, and if they don't want to, they got to stay in the locker room, but they can't be on the field and protest? How do you feel about that rule?
I don't like that rule, man. I honestly don't like it. You can't. Yes, NFL is a private business.
Mm-hmm.
Even though nationally everybody watches. Most people watch football. But you can't fine people for not wanting to stand. For the flag, for the anthem. That's not America. There's not a dictatorship. Other countries, they do that. If somebody doesn't want to stand or be patriotic, some people, you get thrown in jail for that. That's showing that you're opposing the country or whatever, or the government.
Right, and that's what I find so interesting, is that the people that dislike the protest that much, they're the people that claim to be the most patriotic, but the most patriotic person is somebody like Kaep, because America was started, and founded by a revolution, by a protest. You know what I mean? So the fact that he's also protesting and going against what he doesn't think is right. It's mind blowing for people to not understand it and to not agree and to dislike it so much. So, to me, he's the most patriotic person out of anybody in this whole scenario. Like I said, a lot of people think that this is going against America and it means he hates America. But the way I look at it is, if you're on a team, if you're on a football team, baseball team, basketball team, or whatever, and if somebody on your team is, not holding their weight, don't you hold them accountable?
Exactly.
So if we live in America and America is not doing what it's supposed to do, it's not upholding the standards and values and constitutional rights that it was supposed to when the country was founded, so he's calling them out. So to me, that's the most patriotic thing that you can do. So that's why I find it so mind-blowing for him. So do you think, though, that the protest worked, and should other players continue to protest and or speak out about it?
I think the protest worked as far as putting it out there, putting it on the national stage and bringing awareness to it. It did a very good job of that. And like I said before, we kind of have to thank Donald Trump for that in a weird way, because the protest was starting to die down a little bit.
Before
he got elected and called called the players jackasses, I think.
Sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches, yeah, that's what he said. And saying, if you don't stand for your flag, and then his following and his people, they just
his base,
screw the NFL, they're agreeing with him and stuff. So it took on a whole nother life of its own once he started to comment on it. So he
kind of poured gas on the fire.
So in a way, it was good, for the movement.
That kind of backfired on him. Because he was trying to denounce it.
Exactly.
And then he just got people who support it to support it even more.
Exactly.
How did you feel about the Nike ad? We had this conversation before. I was in support of it. Because I've said before, I'm not against no black person making a check. I thought it was good, but how did you feel about him in the Nike ad when it came out?
Oh man, Nike ad. Nike, I felt like Nike. I I didn't like it.
No.
I did not like it one bit. I think they took advantage of the. Obviously, they saw opportunity to make money. That's
Yeah.
what. And okay, fine. You know, was it activism or capitalism?
Right.
You know, which one was it?
Right.
I've never seen Nike. You know, do anything for. As far as for African
Yeah, kind of put themselves out there as far as supporting
exactly
a social cause for
yeah.
Black people or other minorities.
Yeah,
Okay,
and they did this, and I just don't want Black people to be taken advantage of. You know, you saw a lot of celebrities come out. You know, I'm with Nike and stuff, and I'm like, well, what else are they going to do? Is this going? I mean, I haven't heard anything else from Nike.
True. Yeah. After the ad came out, it was just the ad.
Yeah.
Like
so,
we didn't hear that they were gonna donate some funds to a type of charity, like maybe the Trayvon Martin Foundation, something like that.
Yeah.
That's true. Campaign Zero, NAACP, something like that. ACLU.
Exactly. So I just. No, to me it was about money. They saw opportunity to make money, and they did. Their sales and their stocks went up. You know, from Black people being happy that they took a stance on Kaepernick. But you know, we can't. I just don't want every time somebody throws a bone towards
we jump on it.
You know, it can't be that way. We still have to hold people accountable and keep progressing.
That's a good point, because that's the same. It's kind of the same relationship Black people kind of have with the Democratic Party.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
when I listen to this financial advisor, Dr. Boyce Watkins, he often talks about how Black people are like the Democratic Party's side chick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this for you, and then we come out and vote. We show out, and then nothing really gets done, and that's kind of how it's been historically. So that can kind of be seen in the same light where Nike puts this ad out there, gets us all riled up. You know, it's as if they're the Democratic Party and we're their base, we're their constituents. They got us riled up. We go put a bunch of money into Nike, and then they kind of fade away when they when they made all that money.
Exactly.
So it's a good. It was a real interesting perspective when we had that conversation the first time you told me that, and the real moment I knew that you had a good point was when you asked me, do I think Nike would have done that if they thought that it was a risk of them losing money? And when you asked me that, I was you had me stumped. I was dead silent. So that's how I know it's a good question. When I'm speechless and I ain't got nothing to say, that's how I know that it's a very interesting and challenging question, and it's something that really does make you think. Would they have done it if they didn't see, the possibility of them losing money? How do you feel about the response to white people destroying their Nike apparel?
Man, it's just stupidness. Man.
Yeah.
Why are you burning your stuff?
You already paid for it.
You already paid for it. Nike doesn't care. They made money off of
you burning your own money.
Yeah, they made money off of you already. I'm pretty sure those people are still buying. Those same people are still buying Nike.
Probably.
It was just they're just trying to be fake outrage at the time. And like you said before, man, it's just I don't understand why people if we're all Americans, we got to be able to stand up for each other. If Kaepernick is if Black people are hurting from certain things, if you're white, you gotta say, all right, why is my fellow American, why is he hurt by this, or what can I do to help?
Yeah, how is this affecting them?
How is this affecting them? Because I want them to feel American. I want them to feel like they have
like we're all being treated the way we should.
Exactly. So that's not being a patriot.
Right. Exactly. Like we were already saying, the people who are the most patriotic are the ones that do this.
Yeah.
And again, I'll use that analogy. Like if somebody's on your team, and this kind of lends to like the conversation with. We know there's good cops out there, but we need to see more of them speak out.
Exactly.
Because just like if somebody's on your team and they're hurting the team, you want to call them out so that they can do better. That way the team is better. You know what I mean? So like when you're watching your favorite sports team. If I'm watching the Yankees and CC Sabathia is on the mound and he's just throwing wild pitch and after wild pitch, and he gives up 2-3 home runs in like one inning. Any other Yankee fan is cursing out the TV. You know what I mean? You're trying to hold that player accountable because you want the team to do better. So again, when we do this and we're speaking out against these things, it's because we want the whole country to be better. So that's why it's so mind blowing with the whole. It's a fake sense of patriotism.
Yes. Being a patriot, you want everybody to feel
right. Exactly. Everybody should feel like they're like the country looks out for them in a certain way. Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that actually reminds me. In high school, I had a teacher. I don't even know what grade I was in, but I remember it was the beginning of the day. I was walking through the halls, and then the speaker came on for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I just kept walking during the pledge. And I was walking by classrooms, and I could see people in the door, through the door, and they're all, all the students in the classrooms are standing up with their hands over their heart. And for whatever reason, I just kept walking. So like half the day goes by, and I get to lunch, and a teacher actually said to me, she was like, "Hey, I saw you walking during the pledge, and I just want to let you know that I served in the Navy before I was a teacher, blah, blah, blah. So I think that's very disrespectful and this and that." And, at the time, I just, oh, okay, sorry, whatever. But like thinking about all this stuff now, I'm reflecting back, and probably the reason why I, felt like screw it, I'm just going to walk during the pledge, I don't really care, is because this country has, looked out for you in a way that it hasn't for me and black people. So I can't feel this sense of loyalty to America and this, real deep-seated patriotism like we see most white people have, because historically this country hasn't been there for us. It's been there for white people. If anything, it's been against us. You know what I mean? So I can't be so ho-hum and just love America in this this crazy affectionate way like we see most white people do.
I think you're 100% right on that. I don't understand the crazy patriotism
and because it's false too. It's it's a fake sense of patriotism, because, not to cut you off, but like the whole thing with the flag. People were so mad about the flag, like, oh, he's disrespecting the troops and he's disrespecting the military. People died for this flag. People died for you to play this sport. No, they died for us to have the ability and the right to protest against things that we don't like. So when people say like it's such a dishonor to the flag for him to have knelt, well, first of all, a former Marine or a former soldier, somebody of the armed services, told him, hey, instead of sitting down, how about you kneel? Because that's what we do. That's what we do when to honor a fallen member of the service. We take a knee. So that's what he did. He took that advice from a former trooper or from former troop, and so I thought that was very respectful of him. And like I said, they have this big loyalty to the flag and all that, but I guarantee most people don't know about the flag codes that there are in the country. When this all first started, I remember I looked them up. So the flag codes. It states that it states that certain things you aren't supposed to do with the flag. Like you aren't supposed to wear it on any apparel. You're not supposed to like hang it in certain ways and fashions, and you shouldn't have the flag printed on anything that's disposable. So when you go to somebody's house on 4th of July and they have a barbecue and they got the napkins and the plates and everything and it has the flag on it for 4th of July, you're not really supposed to be making those and using those because you're throwing it away. So in a way, it's violating. Right, you're technically violating the code. So there's all these codes about the flag that people probably don't even know, because I know I didn't know them before I went and looked them up when all this started, but then they're breaking those codes. So that's what makes it such a fake sense of patriotism, because when it benefits you, you're going to speak out because you don't like, or actually when it makes you uncomfortable, you're going to speak out like, oh, I don't like that he's doing that. But it's not about the flag or the military or anything. It's about police brutality and institutionalized racism. But when it doesn't affect them or it doesn't make them uncomfortable, they'll go along with it. So with all that said, do you think in the future Kaep will get a job? And if so, who do you think would end up signing him? And how long do you think it is before that actually happens?
I don't think he will get a job. He's been out for so long. 3 years isn't too long, but he's been out for a while. Also,
you got to remember Muhammad Ali gave up 4 years of his
yeah,
prime in fighting, and then came back.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
good point. Yeah, I mean, there's always a possibility, but you know, I feel like the owners in the NFL doesn't want that problem to reemerge, and you know
they don't want the headache.
Yeah, they don't want the headache. Also, Donald Trump is still in office. You know,
right?
Till 2020.
And especially with the federal government giving the NFL money.
Yeah, giving them money
for the displays of the flag and the anthem and all that.
Yeah. So that like I said, you know, that is the NFL's boss, the U.S. government.
Mm-hmm.
That you know, that's their boss. That's who they answer to in a certain way. So yeah, if he does get signed, I feel like it has to be a team, a city that, you know, like the Eagles. You know, you have Malcolm Jenkins. It has to be a team that has that environment of leaders that you know, that can, and a good
people that can already speak out.
Yeah, or just you know, a city. Fan base that can handle that. That just, you know, they don't care about that. They just want,
as long as you play well.
Yeah, as long as you play well and win, which I think Philly is one. I'm an Eagles fan, but other cities, maybe like Baltimore, you know, cities like that won't.
Now wasn't there something where he was about to be signed to Baltimore, or they were gonna bring him out, or he was gonna come practice for him or something?
Yeah,
that almost happened.
I believe a year ago, he was gonna sign with Baltimore. They were gonna give him a chance to come back into the NFL, but they found out that his girlfriend called the Ravens owner. I don't know.
She called him something on Twitter.
I think it was a picture of I don't know if people have seen Django Unchained.
Okay.
Ray Lewis was
right.
I forget.
Samuel Photoshop.
Ray Lewis was Samuel L. Jackson's character, and the owner of the Ravens was Leonardo. So I think she put a picture out like that, and then the owner took offense to it, and you know, it was no deal after that. So,
I'm not too shocked. I mean,
so you know, it was gonna happen, but
that might have been like the one chance. Something. So as I've kind of alluded to before, we talked about this fake sense of patriotism. And so I did some research into the whole federal government paying the NFL, and what I found was that in 2015, Senator John McCain and Senator Jeff Flake actually had a report, and it came out that the NFL had received $6.1 million for paid patriotism. This included full field displays of the flag, enlistment ceremonies, televising the anthem while the flag is on display on the field, and then these reunion events where they bring a soldier home and to surprise his family and things like that. So what's your take? Like, how do you feel about this paid patriotism that is going on in the NFL?
It sounds like business.
Yeah.
It sounds like you know, NFL been doing big business. They wouldn't be doing this if there was no money involved. You know, as far as the military and things go like that. So I feel about it. I mean, it's just, you know, it's just business being business. The NFL.
Yeah.
You know, being the multi-billion, you know, dollar company they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just doing that, and you know, it's fake in a way, because you know, you guys are getting paid for this, and you're asking people to stand up for the anthem. You know, it's hypocritical. You know.
Yeah, and then also what I found was that the players didn't start coming on the field for the anthem until 2009. So this isn't like some long run of something that they had going on. Like, oh, this has always been a tradition, you know, and he's breaking that, blah blah blah. It's like, it's not like that at all. It is 100% paid patriotism, which is what also frustrates me about the people who oppose Kaep and what he did. Yeah. So there's just no legitimacy to it when you see that it's paid. You know, it's like a dude trying to flex, showing up to a party with a girl, but it's like, yo, you paid for her to come with you. Yeah. Like you didn't go out, you didn't go meet her, you bagged her, and she's a girl now. Like, no, you paid her, man. It like don't count. So exactly. Yeah, to me it's just ridiculous. And then All right, so that's all I got for you guys today. Like I said in the beginning, I think that what Colin did was revolutionary. He started something. It was something needed for this country, for black people. I think it pushed us in the right direction. And I think in like 10, 15 years, we'll see him in the same, like, people, we'll look at guys like him and LeBron, kind of put him in the same classes like Jim Brown, Muhammad Ali, Jackie Robinson, kind of.
Yeah.
So, again, I'm thankful for what he did. I thought it was necessary. Again, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, Jason, for being here, bro.
Appreciate it, bro. Thank you for having me.
No, absolutely, man. Hope to have you back on here again.
Oh, for sure.
And I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.